I have a Patreon, it's on the internet, and if you give me money, I'll suck your dick. Okay? I'll suck your dick. Oh, who cares? Dead. Welcome.
You're going in the bed.
The fan base. Yes. Today we're talking about the fan base again, which is a shame because as we firmly established on this show and will continue to establish and indeed plan to establish today, the fan base is fucking exhausting. I'm not sure I actually have much more to add than that, other than the fan base is fucking exhausting. So let's just pull the thorn from the wound and talk about it right now. We are going to doubtless end up talking about this game and the studio behind it, and all manner of completely made up bullshit controversies for quite some time to come. Believe me. Here's a little prediction from me, the Cassandra of video games, to you, a person. Grand Theft Auto 6 discourse is going to be even more fucking tiresome than The Last of Us Part 2 discourse, and if you remember what an absolute cum circus that whole sorry affair was, you'll know that I really am making one hell of a bold claim. But it started already, and we're not even expecting it to release until at least 2024. We have years for controversies, non-troversies, and endless circular dialogue to percolate like so much pus neath a festering wound, and percolate it shall. The bile, the venom, it will flow as the water of the Great Rapids, my friends, though perhaps water is a little too wet a metaphor when we're dealing with as much fucking salt as Grand Theft Auto 6 is destined to accumulate. Anyway, that's just a little forecast shared by me, your favourite professional wrestler and contributing editor to Lemon Fancier Monthly. I thought I'd get that out there while GTA 6 is in the news, as this past weekend it accrued headlines due to what sits comfortably among the biggest fucking information leaks in video game history. The sheer magnitude of the leak Rockstar recently sprung cannot be overstated, especially when one considers how protective, often viciously so, Rockstar Games can be of its intel, to say nothing of how massively important and lucrative this franchise is to said studio. So yeah, this prior weekend, the internet was treated to a veritable feast of secrets, with over 90 videos of an in-development Grand Theft Auto 6 spilled onto the internet like I spill drinks onto my chest to draw attention to my massive tits when I'm desperately trying to pick up men across the bars and pubs of Leeds. This stunning breach of forbidden knowledge was shared in a 3 gigabyte file on the GTA forums by Teapot Uber Hacker, who remains anonymous at the time of my writing this, but fuck knows what'll happen between now and the video's publication. Teapot Uber Hacker, who actually chose that name for themselves, claims also to have source code and assets for both GTA 5 and GTA 6, and has floated the possibility of even more data leaks in the future. Various reports, such as those from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, have attested to the veracity of the footage, more or less confirming it's the real deal. Once again, this is absurdly huge for a company like Rockstar, a studio that not only guards information like this tightly, but isn't shy about pursuing any potential breach litigiously either. Publisher Take-Two is ever ready to issue legal threats and seek damages from even the most innocuous of breaches, often to the point of coming across as a complete and total fucking bully. Hell, back when I was considered relevant in the games industry, and Rockstar Games still acknowledged my existence, my review copy of LA Noire was hand-delivered to my home by a private courier in an unmarked vehicle after I'd signed a whole bunch of legal documentation for its receipt because they wouldn't just ship the fucking thing like a normal company would. They're that possessive, and dare I say they're that far up their fucking asses. That's not to say Rockstar is an impenetrable fortress. Information about games have leaked prior to release before, such as with Red Dead Redemption 2, but this is on another level. And the footage itself is... well, it's clearly early build stuff, but it sure as heck looks like another Grand Theft Auto, and if you want another one of those, then this will be it. Well, it at least looks like another GTA if you're looking at the footage as the early development build it is, and not expecting release quality gameplay as half the fucking internet seems to. When looking at online responses to the leaks, I was quite frankly shocked at what I saw, though given just how fucking stupid video game discourse literally always is, I really shouldn't have been. So many of the responses to these gameplay videos have been to shit on how bad it looks, to criticise it for being rough and unfinished, even though that's literally the point of the fucking footage at this stage. Like, the reactions have been immensely, unbelievably fucking dumb. "This looks like one of those mobile games," reads one comment. "If this is real, I hope this is just very early in development. Character models are terrible. There is no cover system. Animations are terrible too." To help ease my guy's concerns, yes, this is very early in development, as you'd hoped, because the game's release date isn't until fucking 2024, and God knows when this footage was actually captured. "No way this is GTA 6, there is so much flaws in this," suggests another absolute rifle of a commenter. "Yeah, nah, this is a mod on GTA 5. No way in hell GTA 6 looks like this. Appalling," drools another. Because of the amount of text boxes visible in the videos, people have drawn many comparisons to Watch Dogs 2. In all their knee-jerking, people don't seem to have bothered examining those boxes even briefly, since they're quite clearly placeholders full of development info, rather than the stylistic text boxes that Watch Dogs 2 included as part of its aesthetic. Like, you don't have to be a programmer to figure that out, you just have to not be such a reactionary fucking pudstick. "No way in hell this is GTA 6, we waited 10 years for this shit!" Fucking hell. The real irony is that this footage actually looks incredible if it's pre-alpha. At the pre-alpha stage, GTA 6 should actually look considerably worse than this. That the game looks as finished as it does in clips intended only for internal use that we were never meant to see is actually pretty fucking impressive. But to people who have no chill and expect everything to be literally immediately perfect, that's too much nuance to have to consider. I don't expect people to know a lot about how video games are actually made. Hell, I haven't the first fucking clue, and that's why I'm a critic. I don't know how to make anything beautiful myself, and so instead tear down the works of others. That's what being a critic is. But you don't need to know jack fucking shit about making a video game to understand that leaked footage of a really fucking early build of a game that hasn't even had its first trailer yet is probably not going to look like Alien Isolation, aka the best looking video game ever made. But we live in an age where, for some people, being unhappy with a video game is actually more fun than enjoying a video game. Just look again at The Last of Us Part 2 and how many supposed fans of the series were shitting all over it months before it actually came out, just preparing themselves mentally to dislike it from the start no matter what, and finding any reason at all to tear into it and the so-called SJWs at Naughty Dog. For some, playing video games stopped being part of their hobby a long time ago, replaced instead by hating them as part of an obsessive and utterly exhausting culture war. Couple that with how an obsession with graphical excellence has conditioned an entire generation of gaming audiences to psychologically marry visual excellence to quality gameplay, while publishers like Ubisoft literally lie about the graphics of their games with pre-release footage that is wholly unrepresentative of the final game, and it makes some sense that people are confused as to what they're seeing when they watch GTA 6 videos and aren't wowed by it. As I parodied in a video just last week with seeming prescience, people have utterly lost their minds when it comes to video game graphics, expecting visual perfection and scrutinizing every fucking pixel for flaws real or imagined, just so they can be angry online about it and prove that the latest release is actually made by a bunch of cucks. Oh, and as far as the aforementioned culture wars goes, because that's what it always comes down to in the end, if you thought it escaped my notice that people are being whiny little bitches about GTA 6 having women for protagonists, you don't know me very well.
Why is there a girl character? This throws the whole dynamic off. I'm not satisfied, cries one such bitch. And they're not alone. Just type GTA 6 woke into Google and drink in the discourse, gang. GTA 6 has actually been pilloried for going all SJW since before even these leaks, with the usual assortment of unwashed gamer boys and alt-right incels holding a grudge against Rockstar after it decided to cut some inconsequential but ultimately shitty transphobic gags from Grand Theft Auto 5. Since then, the status quo warriors and free speech enthusiasts have tarred Rockstar with the increasingly massive woke brush. Yes, woke. Fascism's buzzword du jour that is now used as an insult for anyone displaying basic fucking empathy, like that's a bad thing. GTA 6 isn't even out. It won't be out for years, but a very loud subset of twats have already decided it's going to go woke and are now determined to hate it on political grounds, even though they're the same people that claim they don't want politics in their video games. But of course, we all know that by politics, they mean daring to shine a spotlight on someone who isn't a straight white male for even a fucking millisecond. And you know, I don't focus on those sad little shitheads and their anti-woke pearl clutching as much as I used to, because as an out and proud trans girl whose people are increasingly faced with governmental oppression, rising hate crimes, and politically influential groups out to literally genocide them, seeing a bunch of terminal forum dwellers doing their millionth big cry over having to play as a girl in a video game is basically fucking quaint these days. The performative outrage from these snowflakes who accuse everyone else of being easily offended but have raged for fucking years over Ellie kissing another girl has become such a clownish routine now, and they've been performing it for close to a decade with all the self-awareness of a particularly comatose pebble. But that brings me perfectly to the ultimate point of today's episode, the pitch I've been winding up to. See, really the entire and whole endgame of today's video was simply to say, with all earnestness, and with hope that my words will fall on rightly opened ears, Bridget is trans, you fucking losers. We've got her, and we're not giving her back. Suck it!
Now, regardless of whether or not you think it's okay that this footage was leaked, whether you think that we should feel bad for the developers that worked on it, or whether we should feel callous because it is ultimately corporate-owned media and you can't steal from a corporation, it's called reclamation. I think we can all, at least on some level, admire the sheer fucking nerve of the person who leaked 90 plus videos of Grand Theft Auto 6 years before the game was due to come out. Holy fuck, I would hate to be that person right now. I also have to admire the fact that in response to all this, they said that this whole thing went surprisingly viral. Just unexpectedly, 90 plus videos of Grand Theft Auto 6 years before its release went a bit viral. If nothing else, that is an applaudable level of understatement. But one thing that cannot be stated highly and earnestly enough is the thanking God for me. So you can all do that now. You can all thank God for me. Oh, and before I go, do remember that this coming Saturday, September 24th, I am running my own wrestling event, which I co-founded with my partner Phoenix, Spectrum Wrestling. We will have our first show, Rejoice, on September 24th, as I said, at Sheffield, at the South Bank Warehouse, the PPW facility. Tickets available at buytickets.at/spectrumwrestling. I will be performing. We've got Simon Miller coming in. It's going to be a hell of a show. And you can all turn up and thank God for me in person, or go to twitch.tv/Jim Sterling and thank God for us digitally watching it there. Bell time 7 PM UK with a pre-show at 6:30 PM UK. It's going to be really good.
Reminding you to tell people to order stuff on the Jimporium before we do our last pre-order of the year, so if they want anything for Christmas they have to do it now.
Well, you've done it now.
I'm not gonna do that.
Ooh.